you talk about how Microsoft worked together to collect the requirements so the developers knew what needed to be developed. Then from that, how did you come up to an estimate of how much it was going to cost? And in reality, did it fall within that budget that was planned? So I'm going to throw that over to the group. Tom, I see your hand.
Yeah, I will tell you that I really had my doubts about how anybody could make this conversion. There are a lot of good FoxPro people at Microsoft, and they've got some really good tools. And so they were able to go at, for instance, and I will tell you, my folders have a lot of legacy reports and other things in them. It's not clean. And using the project files, the FRX files, and the others, they ran their software against it and came up with the number of tables and reports and other information that they put together. And quite frankly, I was shocked at how low their estimate was and how quick their time frame is. We started, and we're right now at the end, and their estimate is what they stick by. They also did a very good job of establishing deadlines and for everything. So we, from the beginning, we had timelines set out and monitored closely. They also have a good means of creating HTML versions that are not bound to data, so that you can click on a control and go to a screen, and all it's doing is switching the URL, and they rough out the screen. So we were able to do a lot of, no, that screen won't work. We need this here. Where's the Framus and where's the that? So they did all of that in just HTML without bound data and validation and all the things. And that was a big help. All the menus were created. The screens were stubbed in. So we were able to get a good idea of the look and feel before we started moving further and then binding data. So their tools were super valuable. Their management of the project and maintaining the timelines was very good. Now, I will tell you, I think without a key developer like Patrick, David, or myself on the project and able to go in, I found myself being involved with troubleshooting C# and other things, and I'm not a C# guy. But you can read. So handling comparison, finding out business rules that weren't obvious. You've got to have somebody who really knows the system in and out as part of the team. And I've been working very hard with teams and AnyDesk to do peer programming and comparisons and etc. So I hope that answers. If you have a follow-up, let me know.
All right. Patrick, Dave, you want to jump in or expand on that?
Yeah, I'll try and answer it from my experience as well. So, the first question, what did we do? We provided our full source code over to Microsoft, and that was the primary basis. They set up their environment, they compiled our application, they have a test environment that they can run our old application or the new application they created. And that was the primary documentation source. We also gathered whatever user manuals we had and use cases, but that was fairly limited and really not that helpful and not up to date. So the main source of truth was the existing application code, which is good and bad because, junk in, junk out. But as far as the estimates, they came back with a 9-month estimate for our plan at a certain number of hours. I can't remember, but we pushed back and said, we have a busy time of a year coming up. We really want to get this done in 7. So they altered their proposal and increased the man hours, but decreased the time frame. We ended up going closer to the original time frame, but with the additional man hours. So in my case, we probably went about 20% over. We did make some sacrifices on functionality as we went, which we probably should have curated a bit more before we started. But and then there's also just an ongoing maintenance component that you should factor into any of these costs, that there will be things that linger after the project. And that's just my experience.
Yeah, I'll kind of twist this one around a little bit, because since my project went so long, there's no reason to really talk about timelines. But I'll talk more about lessons learned. The number one lesson learned is what Tom said. Whoever was primarily involved in supporting or writing the code has to be largely involved in the project. When I say largely involved, I mean, not quite a sole job, but that's pretty much what you're doing with your life if you want to get this thing done. And that's what I have found over the last year or so as we do this. I mean, we probably had 60 man years of software development that we had to port over. So this was a significant effort. And, I found, I think, over the years, the primary limiting factor in this project was me. The fact that here I am, president of a company, having been the FoxPro guy from years back, having to be the primary guy, conduit of information to the developers, and I just don't have the time. Just don't have the time is what it really comes down to. So you got to ensure that you have people dedicated to the project so they can answer the questions in a timely manner and ensure that the developers keep moving when they come to a stop.
I'll just comment on something that Dave said. The biggest obstacle that Microsoft runs into as we work with clients, and I know I'm not part of the panel, is availability of the client to test the converted application, because everybody's got jobs, everybody's busy, everybody's doing a million things, and that's why you hired somebody to help convert it, because you got to run your business still.